And then Articles 10 through 14 deal with the realtor's duties to the public. So let's now talk about the realtor's duties to the public. And that would start with Article 10. Realtors shall not deny equal professional services to any person for reasons of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin. Realtors shall not be parties to any plan or agreement to discriminate against a person or persons on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin. Article 10 then goes on to discuss employment practices. Realtors in their real estate employment practices shall not discriminate against any person or persons on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin. Article 10, discrimination. Again, in federal and state law for the most part, now we see it's actually part of the Code of Ethics.
National Association has always been concerned about affirmative representation, and they have been long advocates of a good employment and discrimination policy and practice. The key here, I think, for anyone is to provide equal level of services. Interesting, Saul, there was one of the case interpretations involved a realtor who took a listing in a subdivision, and one of the owners in talking to the listing agent said, you know, in the subdivision, all of us here kind of would like to have similar people move into the subdivision. And so what we recommend is that you prepare a good neighbor marketing letter in which we'll send that out and try to encourage people of like interest to come on in here. And of course, the realtor, thinking that they were doing good for their particular client, went ahead and sent out that type of good neighbor marketing letter. Well, you know, you can imagine how that is compared to providing equal level of services, and it was held to be discriminatory, and it was also a violation of this particular article.
What about if I prepared a letter that encouraged, a good neighbor letter that encouraged all Great Dane owners to live in this particular project?
Well, if you go back to your standard, you would see that that would not be covered on the basis of it doesn't apply to race, colors, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin. I would guess you could even put something in there that you don't favor having somebody who's in the military.
That's an interesting.
It's an interesting one. Of course, you have to look at state law, but it is clearly not one of the categories covered or the protected classes under federal law.
Soldier and Sailor Civil Relief Act or anything like that, would it?
Now, I'm not mentioning this because you're an Annapolis graduate, Saul.
Standard of Practice 10-1. Realtors shall not volunteer information regarding the racial, religious, or ethnic composition of any neighborhood and shall not engage in any activity which may result in panic selling. Realtors shall not print, display, or circulate any statement or advertisement with respect to the selling or renting of a property that indicates any preference, limitations, or discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin.
Standard of Practice 10-2, as used in Article 10, real estate employment practices, relates to employees and independent contractors providing real estate-related services, and the administrative and clerical staff directly supporting those individuals.
You know, so typically when we're talking about discrimination in real estate, it has to do with what? The buyers and the sellers and blockbusting and panic selling and fair housing, and now we're talking about employment practices and typically the employment relationship in real estate between a broker and the salesperson or the sales agent, often referred to as a sales agent. That's usually an independent contractor relationship. And this is taking us this one step beyond and saying it doesn't matter what type of relationship, you still have to deal with this.
Yeah, prior to this standard of practice, there were some brokers who took the position that, well, or they tried to use the defense that, well, this was an independent contractor, so therefore...
I could discriminate in my hiring practices?
Yeah, but not only that type of discrimination, but also maybe not providing special services because of the handicap in other words, having to make some ramps and improvements to the working facility, they tried to defend themselves on the basis that these were independent contractors.
Won't get away with it.
Not any longer under Standard of Practice 10-2.